And again, like, this is the determining factor of whether or not you need to go to school.
And so I have the mom question.
First and foremost, this is my honest opinion regardless of whether your mom is here. I don't know if that's what you wanted to hear, but Which years are you in?
I'm senior.
Very nice. Are you gonna grow it up next year once you're out?
Yes.
Very good. Good for you guys.
And so I have the mom question.
Okay, go.
What are your thoughts on continuing education?
So first and foremost, this is my honest opinion regardless of whether your mom is here, is if your parents are paying for it and you accept it, you have to do it. If you're gonna live under their house and they're gonna pay for your bills, you have to do whatever they say. That's my opinion. So like when I dropped out of school, I was still living at home, and that was the moment on I said, okay, either I move out or I'm paying for everything. So my opinion is if you're gonna get paid for, you do whatever your parents say. The asterisk next to that is you can always go back to school. And so if you have a good thing going with the business, and I'd say you need to prove yourself a little bit more than 20 customers to prove it's something that can actually provide for yourself. But if you do that, you can always go back and get a degree. I could always go back and become a doctor if I wanted to, right? So I have 6 years of post-high school education. Honestly, I learned more in my first 2 years of growing my business. And so if you're really going for it, I would say that's a very valuable skill. And you can always go back and get a college education. It's always there for the taking. It's the most expensive it's ever been. But if you're gonna get stuff paid for by other people, then you gotta do what they say. They hold all the cards. So I don't know if that's what you wanted to hear, but.
No, I really wanted your honest opinion, because it's taken me a while to come to I'm older. I grew up in the generation that go to college. Mm-hmm. And so it's taken me a while to say, okay, if that's not what you want to do and you want to grow the business. But my question is like, what about tax law? What about these things that you do learn in the classroom?
Yep.
That it's hard to learn outside of the classroom. Would you do some online studies? Of course, I hear, well, Mike Andes has this thing on. You can just invest in Mike Andes. And I'm like, well, who is Mike Andes? And why is he is interfering in my life.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the content that you're putting out there.
Yeah.
And I've actually started to watch it. So that's just kind of where I am. And I want to guide them and encourage them in the right way. And I want them to grow their business, to build it. They've been kind of limited because they're in school. And so when school's back in session and you have 25 lawns, it's hard because you're dealing with darkness and stuff. But I just want to point them in the right direction.
The thing is, like, all those things can be taught in an educational system, and that it is law, tax, finance, etc. What can't be taught is the ability to sell, the ability to create customers and run a business, hire people. That cannot be taught in a classroom. So if they get those skills and they ever need the other, they can always go back and get them. More yet, though, you can hire all that out. I'm not the best at a lot of those things, but you can grow the business to the point where you can hire a CPA, you can hire an attorney, and they get those things taken care of. Those are all commodities that can just be taught in a classroom the same way that chemistry and biology can be taught in a classroom. And you just don't need those skills to be a business owner. Now, if you're going to become a lawyer, you got to go to school. If you're going to become an accountant, you got to go to school. If you're going to be a doctor, you got to go to school. Business owner, you just don't need it. The defining factor is whether or not someone has the work ethic to make up for their lack of education with growing a business. If that stalls out and you don't have the work ethic to put in 12 hours figuring things out, you won't be able to catch up when you don't know things. But if you have the work ethic, you'll figure it out. Like, you will YouTube balance sheet and you'll understand the law and you'll call the Department of Labor of licensing and like figure out how to license in your state correctly. You'll just do it because you're hardworking. And so that's a skill that can't be taught, and that's work ethic. So as a parent, if I was a parent, I'd be looking at, like, is the work ethic there? Because if it's not, I'd be concerned, right? So if my child was like, I'm gonna become an entrepreneur, and I didn't see like their ability to grind and hustle, that'd be concerning to me, because they're gonna go fall flat in their face and have nothing to show for it. And they're probably not even gonna get skills because they're not gonna push themselves to learn. Whereas if they're going to push themselves and even they fail, but they grow their business and they learn all these skills that cannot be taught in a classroom, then they go get their education in their 30s, let's say, but they come out as an incredible executive. So I would just focus on that. Like, as a parent, that's what my thought would be. Like, if they have the work ethic, I'd give them a pass. If they don't, get in school.
Okay, and so if you had to go. But my next question is, they're ready to buy a new mower. I mean, they've been using the same one for what? I don't know, but it's like it's a residential mower. It's not a commercial. What would your thoughts be on what their next step would be? Because he's all like, we got to get a new mower. And the existing mower is starting to show.
What size mower?
It's a 54-inch deck.
Okay.
0 turn.
And how big are most of your properties? I know you're in Louisville, you live here. Like a smaller residential, or do you commercial, or what do you do?
Residential.
Okay, how long do they usually take to mow?
15 minutes.
Yeah, so I wouldn't get a 54-inch. I would take half that money, I'd put that towards marketing, and then the other half is get like a 32 or even a push mower at 30-inch. Because if it's only taking you 15 minutes to mow, it means that 7.5 of those minutes or 8 of those minutes are weed whacking and blowing, and you're really only spending about 7 minutes on the mower. And if you go from a 54 to a 30-inch push mower, you're literally gonna go from 7 minutes to like 12 minutes. And that extra 5 minutes is time, but you have lots of time right now. Take that money, the extra 5 grand, 6 grand, 7 grand you're gonna save, put that towards marketing, and you'll go from 20 customers to 100. Right? Like the guy that walked up here today said he had a $35 customer acquisition cost. Let's assume you have $50 customer acquisition cost, which means you have to spend $50 for every customer. If you can make $5,000 and go spend that on marketing, that would be 100 new customers. So getting a new mower is not going to produce you 100 new customers. It might make you feel good, and it might be a little more reliable. But I think you could get away with right now saving that money, put that towards marketing, because that will take you from 20 to 100 customers. And 100 customer business is something to talk about. That's something where you look at your mom like, I can do this outside of, I don't need college, right?
So where would you recommend like our number be for the amount of customers like this next year?
I think you get to 100. I think you get to 100. Yeah, 100%. Right, so let's look at March, April, May, and June. That's 4 months. It's 120 days in the spring rush. You need a customer a day. Right? And the reason you need a customer a day, you're gonna lose some customers, right? So if you shoot for a customer a day, it's like, okay, I'm gonna knock on doors, I'm gonna put door hangers out until I literally get a customer. And that might mean you put door hangers and knock on doors for 2 hours a day. But if you do that for 3 months, you'll have a real business. You'll be hiring somebody, you'll really have a real something to like point to and be like, there's a reason I'm doing this.
So I ordered, I think I have 500 business cards. I got the ones that are
Lawn Care Media.
With the instant quote on the back.
Oh yeah, Lawn Care Media, yep, cool, yep.
So I'm planning on using those.
Yep, knock on the doors. And then if you ever get in a negotiation with your mom about college, have a number of customers you have to hit in 1 year. Next year, you're off. Like, let's just say, hey, instead of taking my break year, my year between college, I'm gonna go build this business. And if I get to this level, I don't wanna hear about college anymore, right? But then you've gotta hit it. And it should be probably 100 plus customers. And that's gonna mean a real business that you can actually provide for someone down the road, right? And then you just gotta grind for it. Like literally it's a matter of like, okay, what do I need per day? What do I need per week? And if I'm not hitting that, I'm gonna literally just go knock on doors, right? Like I remember knocking on doors Friday and Saturday, both days for 12 hours. I remember that several times when I was first getting started. I didn't have any money to spend on marketing. And Google ads, don't get wrapped up in the Facebook garbage. Like you're not gonna throw money as like money appears. It's not happening. You're gonna have to grind, right? So just have the numbers, know exactly what you need, and just go for it. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask, like, on the online side of marketing, like, what areas would you hit?
Yeah, like I would start off small, like depending on what your budget is. But like if you save say $4,000 or $5,000 from not buying the big mower and take that money and put it towards marketing, if you do that, number one, you get to 100 customers, you can now afford the mower. Not a problem. Okay. But then furthermore, if you do that, I'd be putting a small amount towards Facebook. I'd be focusing on like every door direct mail, the printed stuff more, because you're gonna get better bang for that buck, and you have time, not money, right? If you had 50 grand, we'd be talking about like Facebook campaigns and Google ad campaigns and YouTube and TikTok, like we did all that. You don't have that money, so you gotta be really efficient with it, and that's gonna be more like, you know, pounding the pavement and knocking on doors, talking to people, doing the instant quotes. That's probably gonna get your best bang for your buck. But in terms of online, I do a little bit maybe on Facebook. Google, definitely, Google ads. So do you have a Google listing, Google business account?
Not yet, because we're not.
I saw you raise your hand. I saw that.
I don't think
When you said who does not have a Google My Business account?
Oh.
Yeah, you did. I saw that.
They're still he's still underage. So
Yeah.
Mama's protective.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we're planning on opening a
Don't worry, I didn't have a Gmail account until I went to college. So.
we're planning on opening like an LLC.
Yep.
And then when that's open, I'll put like all my information in there. But
Just go ahead and get started. Get started. You know, try to get the business listing up, because once you do that, then you can create a Google Ads account and run ads for Google. And again, like this is the determining factor of whether or not you need to go to school, and that is, can you figure out how to make a Google ad without having to go to school? 100% yes, in 20 minutes on a YouTube video. The question is whether or not you figure that out, right? So, you know, you can watch some of my stuff, but like literally, how to make a YouTube video, search by the last 2 weeks to make sure it's the most up-to-date one, and watch that video and follow along, right? So.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
You want a picture with him?
Let's do it, man. I'm in
All
trouble.
right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Thank you.
Cool, thanks guys.
For your time.
Absolutely, appreciate it.